Well, hello everyone and welcome to another growing guide here at Larry's Tropical Plants. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this because this has been a highly requested one for all of these kind of spinach varieties that no one really knows how to grow, but we do carry them at Larry's Tropicals and I hope you will check them out. I'll post a link to the description box, in the description box to where you can get these. But here's what we have here. We have an Okinawan spinach and we have a longevity spinach. Both of them are not technically spinach varieties, but they can be treated and eaten just like spinach. They're delicious, but the only thing that sets them apart is that they're more heat tolerant. Oftentimes gardeners really dislike growing regular spinach because it bolts very quickly, and that's, if you don't know what bolting is, it's the process of it going to seed. In the summertime, it will just form a really tall, spindly stalk. It'll get very bitter, and it just kind of ruins the plant. Now, the thing with Okinawan spinach and longevity spinach is that they're extremely heat tolerant. So you can start them in the spring and grow them all through when regular spinach would normally not grow into the fall. And then you can even mulch. If you're in zone 5 or lower, you can mulch very heavily with the Okinawan spinach and it will actually overwinter and come back for you in the spring. So we're talking perennial status. That is really cool for a heat tolerant and cold tolerant because it's typically only one or the other, and this is both. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Now, for the people that want to know how to grow it, these are leaf vegetables or leaf crops, so you're going to want to give them a higher nitrogen count fertilizer than the other two. So you're talking nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in on the NPK for fertilizer. You want to go higher on the nitrogen because it's going to give good leaf growth. So what we like to do is, I like to grow with organic methods, but that's just what I choose. And I use blood meal, and blood meal is a 10-0-0. It's 10% of the weight in nitrogen. So it's going to have a lot of nitrogen. It's going to offer a lot of green growth, which basically means more food for you. Now, another thing is that if you're not going with an organic fertilizer, you can go with something like a 10-0-0. They do make those in a synthetic fertilizer. You can also go with something like a 20-10-10, and that's going to give you even more nitrogen and a little balance of other things as well. So there's lots of options for you, but they're not too picky, just as long as they get some good nitrogen. Now the next thing is soil. They don't like to have a pH that is super high on the acidity, so you don't want something that's like a 5.5. I would suggest if you are trying to gauge pH, I would go somewhere near a 6.5, pretty neutral, because they are not grown in all that acidic soil. Now the next thing is the soil makeup, how loose it is. These really like well-draining soil, and so if you give them a sandy loam, they're really going to appreciate that. And basically that just means that it's well draining, it's very fertile, and pretty much your favorite potting mix will do just fine as well. Now another thing is when it comes to pruning. The Okinawan spinach and the longevity spinach can both be pruned. This is something that is totally different than regular spinach, because if you prune regular spinach, it takes a long time to come back, and you might actually kill it because it does not take to topping super well. Topping basically just means taking the top off and snapping it. If you do that with these plants, you can take some pruners and just basically take these and just lop off a nice amount there. And you can do the same with these as well. Just take these and lop off a good amount. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep the plant low lying. It's also going to allow it to bush out, and it'll push side growth out. It'll also push growth out the bottom, and you can actually have more of a bush, which only can equal more food for you, which is something that spinach can't even touch. That's why I really love these, because as far as the benefits go, these have 100 times more benefits than spinach do. They're heat tolerant, they're cold tolerant. The Okinawan spinach is a perennial. You can also grow them year round in places that don't get freezes or frosts, and that just is never even heard of with spinach. So a lot of benefits to growing these. And the very last thing people always ask about is, can it be grown as a house plant? And the answer to that is, of course it can. It actually will do really well in the house as long as you give it enough sunlight. A good south-facing window is typically what we recommend because that gets enough sun exposure to grow these plants. basically 5 to 6 hours of sun is all you're going to need to do really, really well. Again, if you're planting outside, it's a little easier to get that sunlight, but just make sure that you're not planting it in a shady location because these are leaf vegetables and they really do like to have that sunlight. So 5 hours of sun, and you can go all the way up to 8 hours of sun, and they're going to do extremely well for you. So that's all I have for this growing guide. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, please click the subscribe button because that helps you stay up to date whenever we upload a cool video like this one, and it also helps us know who we're reaching. And also, if you have any friends that are into growing vegetables or have complained about how fast spinach bolts or into growing unique spinach varieties, this is going to be for them. So make sure to share this video. And also, one last plug, make sure you check in the description box below. I'll post a link to where you can get the longevity spinach and the Okinawan spinach. And I will catch you all later. This is Luke from Larry's Tropicals, hoping you have a great day, and I will catch you all later. See ya. Bye.